this actually is not what I originally planned on doing a video about today. I had something else lined up that I'm gonna push back to tomorrow or Thursday or something, but I usually wouldn't do videos just based off of one-off deals or trades or anything like that, but this deal felt big enough and substantial enough that I kind of felt compelled to talk about it just in its own video. This is going to be a couple days late just because of my upload schedule, but the Minnesota Timberwolves have traded Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and the Detroit Pistons first-round pick. Now it's good news that they got the Detroit first-round pick, because the Knicks are going to be very, very, very good next year. They are going to be a top 3 team in the league next year, I think, easily. If you just look at their starters now after acquiring Karl Anthony Towns, I'll talk about the Knicks a little bit at first, but so we have the Knicks, they lost Mitchell Robinson to injury. Isaiah Hartenstein left in free agency. Did Robinson leave, or is he just out? No, he's just out, but he's still with the team. So the starting lineup, now you're looking at Jalen Brunson, obviously. Of course, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, and at that other spot, maybe Miles McBride or Josh Hart. But that's a crazy team. You're losing a little bit of rim protection. Isaiah Hartenstein is an underrated rim protector. Mitchell Robinson is a very good rim protector. Obviously, he'll still play, probably in the latter half of the season. But they just added the best three-point shooting big man probably of all time. One of, Karl Anthony Towns gets a lot of flack from a lot of fans and even from seemingly other NBA players. But Karl Anthony Towns, for 9 years, was with the Minnesota team that for a majority of those years was extremely incompetent. Not managed well, did not achieve much, and he consistently took it on the chin. He never asked for a trade, reportedly didn't even ask for this trade. It came as a shock to him, and based on his reaction, I believe that it seems that he did not want to be traded. And he's coming off of probably the best season of his career, obviously going to the Western Conference Final, losing to the Mavericks in that final, but overall having a good playoffs. I really, really like this trade for the New York Knicks. I think this is an A+ trade for them. Now, obviously, you lose Dante DiVincenzo, and DiVincenzo, I think, because of the amount of hate he gets from fans, people underrate him. But he is an elite three-point shooter, and he doesn't hurt you too bad on defense either. I think he either took or made the second most threes behind Luka last year. Hold on, let me, there's something I saw about his three-point shooting. 8.7 three-pointers attempted per game, which is the second most behind Luka Doncic, so 8.7 per game. 283 total three-point makes last season. He was averaging 15.5 points per game, 40% from 3. Just really good. I mean, looking through his game log, 5, 2, 3, 3, 8, 2, 5, 6, 4, 6, 5, 11. So, for Minnesota, they are getting an elite 3-point shooting talent. I'm not going to deny that. But then they're bringing in Julius Randle, which it almost feels like undoes that. Now Julius Randle with New York, they could make it work because they had so many other guys on that team who could shoot. You know, Randle, he's a dog down in the post. He'll sit down there, he'll bang. But he really can't make that many. He's a 33% 3-point shooter. The defense will just sag off him. They'll let him take those. And Gobert is not going to be able to make up for that. Now, 2 years ago, when Gobert was first brought into Minnesota, there was a lot of issues. The chemistry issues with Towns and with Gobert. And that team floundered hard in 2022, 2023, but then last season, 2023, 2024, all of those chemistry issues seemed to be gone, and you had an elite defense in Minnesota, the best defense in the league, one of the best defenses I've seen. Personally, you know, I've been watching since I probably started watching basketball seriously around 2010, 2011, you know, less casually, watching it more seriously. One of the best defenses I've seen in that time period. And they, like I said, they made the Western Conference Final. Karl Anthony Towns was a big part of that. Him and Gobert, how their games complemented each other. Cat's ability to space the floor while Gobert held down the paint. But if I'm looking at Gobert with Julius Randle sitting next to him, I don't like that as much, because now you have a front court that neither guy is gonna be able to shoot. Now Randle is better offensively than Gobert, but he's not Karl Anthony Towns. Towns, like I said, probably the best 3-point shooting big man of all time. And you let him go to bring in Randle and DiVincenzo for Minnesota. This feels like a cost-cutting measure, unfortunately. I'm ranking this. Brewdog, Cerveza, Libre, Salt and Lime, Lager, brewed in Brisbane, 4.3% alcohol, pretty good, very good Mexican beer, an Australian Mexican beer. But it's, I feel like this is a cost-saving measure for Minnesota, which, coming off of a Western Conference Final season, the best season that most fans have experienced in decade plus, it feels like a slap in the face. Because, Karl Anthony Towns, he was owed a pretty big contract here. He had 2027, 2028, and then he has a $61 million player option. Randle makes 28.9 as a player option for 30.9, so he's making basically half as much as Cat. Minnesota made the conference finals for the first time in franchise history. So this is the best season that any Minnesota Timberwolves fan has ever seen. And then immediately to get rid of the player who was there through all the bad times and was instrumental in helping you get there. Now I know Anthony Edwards is amazing and electric, but him and Cat play played off of each other, and him and Cat had that chemistry, and they were integral in each other's games. I feel like just only having Anthony, teams are going to be able to key in on him a little bit more without Karl Anthony Towns there. Julius Randle is a ball-dominant player. He needs the ball in his hand. He wants to be a playmaker. But now it also feels like in Minnesota, well, no, because the ball needs to be in Ant's hands. And Randle, like I said, he's not a three-point shooter. He's not a spot-up shooter. He needs the ball in his hands. And it feels like he is not the type of guy that will help Anthony Edwards thrive and progress to that next level. He feels like a step back. And it almost feels like Minnesota kind of like throwing in the towel a little bit and like, oh, we're not good enough to go to the finals. When I thought Minnesota coming into this season, if they would have left their rosters they would have been one of my favorites to come out of the West, and them, Denver, maybe Dallas again. Because I honestly think this Minnesota team running it back, they could go further than they did last year. You have another year of development for Anthony Edwards. You have more of that chemistry, you know. I know there's, especially nowadays, modern sports culture, if you don't win, the idea is, well, you have to make changes to get to the next level. I don't necessarily believe that's true. I think there is something to be said for continuity, chemistry, learning, team building, things like that. I mean, look at the Michael Jordan Bulls. There was a lot of continuity in those teams. So, I just don't. This feels like a step back for the Minnesota Timberwolves. This feels like a cost-saving measure, and I know they have guys like Naz Reid. I know they have guys like, I can't think of his name at the moment. They just got Rob Dillingham. They have Jaden McDaniels. Here's the thing. I don't think Naz Reid is going to be starting. I think it's going to be Gobert and Randle starting in the front court. Because I know Naz Reid can space the floor a little bit. Obviously not as good as Cat, but this feels like, honestly, this does make me a little bit mad from the Timberwolves' point of view, because it is a team that I like, and they're a team that I thought, like, finally this franchise, this fan base, they can have something, and then it feels like it's just been torn down in front of them yet again. I love this move for New York. I think New York, or them and Boston right now, are probably my two favorites to win a ring this season, unless I'm like really overlooking somebody. Denver, I don't think is gonna do it with the new CBA, and Denver's inability to really make any big moves. It's basically gonna be the same team as it was last year. I feel like I don't know. Like, Jokic obviously is amazing, but to me, give me the Knicks or the Celtics this season. Like I said, unless I'm really, I don't know, it's almost midnight, so maybe I'm just tired. I'm not thinking of somebody, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think of this trade. I know this video isn't super long, but I just really want to talk about this. I really don't like this for the Timberwolves. I would have liked to have seen at least one more season. One more season of running it back. If it doesn't work, okay, well then pull the trigger on this. Because Randall still has that extra year, right? And DiVincenzo's on a good contract. I love this for the Knicks. The Knicks are scary. Hate it for the Timberwolves. Let me know what you think. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more content just like this almost every single day. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.